Welcome to everyone. I hope everyone is having a pleasant, wonderful, enjoyable, delightful day or evening, wherever you may be located on our wonderful, beautiful orb, Mother Earth. I'm going to be talking about one of the classic, one of the greatest, one of the most renowned mutants in Marvel Universe. He's a member of the second team of Xman. He's world renowned. He's had a number of cinematic feature films devoted just for him. You guessed it. I'm going to be talking about Wolverine. Particularly, I'm going to be talking about 15 things about Wolverine's powers even true fans get wrong. So again, 15 facts about Wolverine that fans get wrong. So let's begin our little journey to know about this classic hero of Marvel Comics. So here we go. Since his appearance in the Incredible Hulk number 180 in 1974, when I was still just a young child in the single digits, Wolverine has gone through some major changes and retcons. Wolverine burst onto the scene with a simple premise. He was short. The Hollywood movie had him at 6'3", 6'2". In real life, Wolverine is just a mere 5'3" tall. He fit the name Wolverine with the short, stubby, irritable creatures. Do your research about the Wolverine creatures. They are short, stubby, and they ill-tempered and love to fight. He was short, Canadian, had claws like the real Wolverine, and was temperamental like the real Wolverine. With no plans for Wolverine's future, Marvel could not have predicted how monumentally popular Wolverine would become. Wolverine has not only been a valuable member of the X-Men and Avengers, but he also is a cultural icon. Now, for me, I first got aware of Wolverine when I started seriously collecting comics in the 1980s. I came about him through the X-Men. During the 1980s, he was popular, but his popularity was nowhere near like it is now. Nowhere near like it now. If Wolverine died, which he has many a time, it caused monumental stir-up in comic book society. There was a time when Wolverine was on the lower pole of superheroes. Because remember, he only been around since 1974. Although his past has always been a little murky, yes, he had his up and downs over the years, his power seems straightforward. He has an accelerated healing factor and retractable claws. Straight enough. He also has superhuman strength, which we're going to get into. This seems simple enough, but after 44 years, the old chucklehead's abilities have evolved beyond the grasp of most fans. So Wolverine, since he's become popular, you know how that goes. When you're an icon in the movies and books or comic books, they're going to add some additions to your powers. But for the most part, his powers are still basically the same. His number one power is that accelerated healing factor. And you all know there's different versions of Wolverine. Old Man Logan, he's the most popular Wolverine. Logan from different universes, but Old Man Logan, he's the most popular alternate version of Wolverine because he's so much in line with the classic Wolverine that we know of. Okay, so let's start with our 15 powers and abilities that you may have not known about. So here we go. He feels pain and it haunts him. Okay, no one ever thought about that. Yes, we all want his healing ability, but did you ever think, young man, young woman, that when he gets shot with that rifle, that gun, that machine gun, he still feels the pain of it. If you ever watch the Wolverine movies, when he gets shot, he do back up a little bit. He do jerk. He just don't keep running. Sometimes he run into the bullet. That's when he goes into that berserker rage. That's one of Wolverine's attributes too. He can go into a berserker rage where he can ignore pain. But when he's in a nice, stable frame of mind, he will retract when he gets hit, when he gets shot, when he gets stabbed. You see when he's calm, he gets shot, he back up. He gets shot in the head, he fall out, like in the Xman movie. The one where he had, I think it was Xman #2, when he had the turbo guy, the fire guy in. He got shot in the head, and he fell out because his body registered that pain. So keep that in mind. When Wolverine gets shot or stabbed, he feels that pain. And Wolverine has admitted sometimes he feels echo effects from that pain. Sometimes the pain still haunts him days later. Imagine if you got your head chopped off, you can't let that go. You get your arm chopped off. That's a tremendous amount of pain. Yes, he'll grow a new arm back, but maybe not if he didn't have that adamantium skeleton. If he got his arm chopped off, he would grow another one back. But it's still painful. I don't know if it's painful when he's growing it back, but he will register that pain when they get that arm chopped off. When you poke him in his eye, when you stick a pencil in his eye, he still feels that pain, and like he said, he has that echo effect sometimes of reliving that pain. Sort of like when a person who becomes amputated loses a limb. Sometimes they feel that limb there, even though maybe years later, after they got amputated, they still sometimes feel that limb there, but it's not there. So keep that in mind. Wolverine, he feels pain, and sometimes when the pain is so severe, he remembers the echo effects of experiencing that pain. So having a healing factor is not all that, where you can still feel the pain of getting hit by the bus, having the piano fall on you. He still feels those things. Moving right along, my good people. Carbonium is his kryptonite. Okay, carbonium is a special alloy similar to adamantium, which laces his body. The only effect is, or the only one benefit of it, is malleable. You can still bend it and shape it, but even after it reaches, its critical heating point. Adamantium, when it gets to a certain stage, a certain cooling factor, it will retain that shape, quote, virtually forever. Carbonium can be manipulated, adjusted, reshaped. I guess it can even be remelted, but it just cannot be destroyed. It's just as endurable as adamantium. But here's the effect, how it affects Logan, Wolverine. It reduces his healing ability. So that's his kryptonite. The carbonium metal will greatly impact his healing factor. Next on our illustrious list, no long-term effects from substance and alcohol. We all know that. Wolverine does not suffer any long-term effects of from drinking alcohol or getting poisoned. He may experience like a slight vomit, a slight wooziness. He does get drunk, but for us, we may get drunk for several hours. When he gets drunk, it may be about 10 minutes or 20 minutes. When he smoked that, and he smoked them cigars, when he smoked that cigar, he may get that beautiful taste of the cigar. It may only last for him for about 5 or so minutes before his healing factor kick in. So keep it in mind. Wolverine can get drunk, he can get poisoned, he just can't get killed from the original poison. But he will know if he was poisoned. He will know it. He will feel the effects of it. He will know when he's drunk. He will feel the effects of it, but his healing factor quickly kicks in, and he may be healed from being drunk within 5 or 10 minutes. The poison, he may be recovered from the poison within 5 or 10 minutes, but he still may get woozy and stagger a little while. Alright. So let's continue. Without superhuman strength, he would not be able to move. Let's say that again. Without superhuman strength, he would not be able to move. Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. His skeleton is laced with adamantium. Adamantium is a durable, strong metal. That metal is adding weight to his body. I think Wolverine weighs about 500 pounds. If he's 5'3", as the comic predicted, at most he would weigh like 220, 230, 240 in real life. That adamantium skeleton makes him 500 pounds. So he has to have a level of superhuman strength. Now he may not have the he may not have the strength level of a Spider-Man to be able to lift cars easily. But if you all see some comic books, Wolverine, he's able to easily lift up a tree trunk at least. He's able to lift a car up with some effort. So to be able to have all of the adamantium cover him from head to toe, he has to have a degree of superhuman strength. Even if Wolverine can lift 1,500 pounds, that is superhuman strength, because no normal human can lift 1,500 pounds or 2,000 pounds. And we've seen Wolverine has gone toe-to-toe with the Hulk, Thor, the Thing. To be able to fight those people, he has to have the strength in his hand to be able to stab them with those claws. If he's not strong enough, I don't care what kind of claws you got on. If you don't have enough punching power, your punch will not affect the Thing, the Hulk, or Thor. So to scratch them, to puncture them, he has to have a degree of superhuman strength. I don't think Marvel has listed how much he can lift or whatever, but he does have to have superhuman strength. Next on the agenda, adamantium was preventing him from mutating even further. Never knew that. According to my research, without being laced with adamantium, Wolverine will revert to a more bestial or primal state. I do know when he first had that adamantium laced his skeleton, he did go berserk for a number of years in the Canadian mountains or outback. He wasn't around butt naked berserk. But this don't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen, because his mutant powers manifested, I think when he was a teenager. I never read those issues about his origin stories, because I never loved Wolverine that much as a superhero, but I do appreciate him. But when his powers first manifested, he didn't go berserk then, so why should he keep mutating now? Why? Why should he become more bestial? His name Wolverine, so why does he have to act like a Wolverine? I think that's one of the little Marvel's little gimmicks. They say if he didn't have adamantium, he will revert to a more primitive state. So what they basically saying, for some therapeutic reason, the adamantium in his body is keeping him from becoming more hostile and bestial. That doesn't make any sense at all to me. To you it may make some sense, but to me it don't have no logic behind that type of reasoning. Alright, so let's continue. His healing factor is adaptive and evolves. I don't want to, okay. His healing factor adapts to whatever circumstance he's in, and it has evolved. As I said earlier, since he's more of one of Marvel's flagship characters, yes, they're going to make him evolve and become more powerful. If you all like me, who grew up in the 80s, you know, in the 80s, Marvel had a cap on strength level. The Thing was able to lift 85 tons. The Hulk was in the 100-ton range, so we don't know how much he can lift. Thor was in the 100-ton range. Spider-Man was reported to be able to lift 10 tons. But as the year goes on, they became more and more powerful. She-Hulk at the time could lift 50 tons in the 80s, but she's a member of the Hulk family, so she does have a right to increase her strength. I guess they all have a right to increase their strength. But in the 80s, there was a cap on their strength level. Now, People can move planets and shatter asteroids. Go figure. So his hidden power is adaptive and it does evolve. So let me give an example how it has evolved over the years. According to the article I'm reading, he has survived atomic bombs and regenerated from a single cell. Okay, see that's going to be absurd. He has regenerated from a single cell. This isn't just something of the whims of the various writers over the past 4 decades, though. This is part of his ability. So his hidden power is so great that if a single cell survives, he can regenerate. Okay, here's a question. Here's a question, ladies and gentlemen. If Wolverine is splattered, would a bunch of Wolverine clones spring up? See, they never think about that. Or just will one Wolverine evolve? Let me say it again. If his cells are scattered all over a football field, how many Wolverines will show up then? 1,000? 200? Get my point. But we always know his hidden factor could repair him from any type of conventional damage. He gets stabbed, he heals in seconds or minutes. He gets shot with a gun, he heals in seconds or minutes. He gets his eye poked out, he heals in seconds or minutes. But over the years, his hidden factor has gone to such a level that he can regenerate from a single cell. Go figure. Now, his claws were not originally part of his mutant power. One thing I do like about Wolverine, for decades we didn't know nothing about him. Nothing. But in the early 2000s, we did delve into his history. And in the 2000 version, his claws was part of his mutant power. But in the beginning, according to the article I'm reading, in the original setting, his claws were not original factors. But that don't make any sense. If I'm going to build a weapon X, and you don't have any claws, why am I going to give you claws all of a sudden? It makes more sense that you had the claws to begin with. They're part of your skeleton. I'm going to lace your entire skeleton with adamantium, so since your claws are part of the skeleton, they get laced with adamantium. I like the 2000 reworking of a Wolverine when the claws are part of his power. That makes sense. Because Wolverine claws are one of the most iconic superhero traits in pop culture. Without his claws, he would be anyone. There are a lot of people out there who have a hidden factor, but what makes Wolverine unique is he got them claws. And I think he's one of the first superheroes who had claws. After he came along, a bunch of people had claws, like Sabretooth. Many third-rate supervillains got claws. They had fingernails, but it's still claws. The Wolverine may have claws, an iconic and hit feature. See, according to the article, the original intention of the claws was to be part of his gloves and not his body. Later, retcon, numerous incidents show Wolverine using his claws when other mutant powers have been deactivated. The reasoning behind this is murky. One explanation is that Weapon X initially created the claws as a body enhancement, and they therefore not technically get a power, but I said earlier, it don't make any sense. If you're going to give this person an enhanced skeleton, if he never had claws before, why all of a sudden give him claws to maim his skins? You basically have to re-engineer him, and that's wasting more money. If he had the claws from the outset, you're not re-engineering him. You don't have no scientists think about how to make the claws pop out, because they are already a part of him. So as I said earlier, I like the new rendition of Wolverine that they made in the early 2000s when he was a young boy and the claws popped out. There was bones at the time, but they were still sharp and deadly. Let's continue. He can, I said this earlier, he can survive an atomic blast, but he struggles with drowning. Let me read that again. He can survive an atomic blast, but he struggles with drowning. I wonder, okay, let me think about that. Because if you get hit by an atomic bomb, you don't want to die. That's not like a natural death. But if Wolverine died naturally, is that possible? Drowning is a natural form of death. So if his body senses that he died naturally, will he stay dead? That's something to think about. A natural death. If his body don't get oxygen anymore, because you know when you're drowning, you're deprived of oxygen. So if Wolverine is deprived of oxygen, will his healing factor shut down? That's something to think about. We never thought about that. His cells still need oxygen. If he got hit by an atomic bomb, he's still on land. He still had the chance to breathe oxygen. But if he's drowning, he can't absorb oxygen. And I don't think he can absorb it from the water. Let's be naturally. He's a land creature, so he's going to get his oxygen from the land. It never says his human power. It never says his fact that adapt to different environments he's in. He can still drown. So that's something to think about. If he's deprived of oxygen, would Wolverine die a normal, traditional death? Let's continue. He's a genius. Okay, I never see this before. I never see. Now he may be a genius at warfare and combat, but I never saw Wolverine in any comic book making any sophisticated devices like Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Dr. Octopus, Dr. Doom, on and on. I never once saw him make any technological device. So what type of genius is he? He's a Weapon X type of genius. Let me read this. Logan is about 130 years old due to his healing fact he aged very slow. Give or take a few years, and he has lived quite a life. He has traveled the world, fought in countless wars, and even became a samurai and secret agent. And in that time, he has acquired a vast amount of skills and knowledge. So he does have a lot of knowledge, but I never think of him as sitting down, learning how to do calculus or trigonometry. He doesn't seem like the patient type of person. Wolverine does not seem like a patient. He doesn't seem like he's a bookworm. During a dangerous training session while monitoring Wolverine's vital signs, Ford observes that Logan's physical and mental state is equivalent. Now, okay, his mental state is equivalent of Olympic level gymnasts performing a gold medal routine while simultaneously beating 4 chess computers in his head. So that's what I mean by he's a genius level intellect. If he wanted to, because he do got the healing factor, he is able to stay up. He probably even need to sleep. If Wolverine really wanted to, he could become a genius level intellect if he wanted to. Because he probably have so many parts of his mind is open than we do. Because remember, most of us are only using 10% of our brain. How much of Wolverine's brain is he really using if he wanted to use it? So potentially, Wolverine could become a genius level intellect. Since he lived long, he does have a lot of knowledge he could have acquired in all them years of living. But right now, it don't seem like he want to learn much. Okay, next on our list, a main tip makes the attack more effective. I don't need to explain that anymore. Wolverine is already a living weapon. Before he had the adamantium, his bones are still tougher than a normal human being bone. It would take a lot of effort to break his bone. To break Wolverine's normal bones, you would have to be a superhuman level individual of the Hulk class strength. His bones are tough. That's why he was given the adamantium. He already was tough. But with the adamantium there, his hits are more savage. His kicks are more lethal. It's more of a weapon with the adamantium. But even without the adamantium, a normal human being could never withstand any of Wolverine's attack. And for that fact, even without adamantium, many superheroes could not stand up against Wolverine because his bones are super tough, super durable. He was still healed quick anyway. Alright, next on our agenda. Berserker Rage is like going super crazy. Yes, when Wolverine goes to his Berserker Rage, he loses all his rational functions. You cannot reason with him. He's more at a bestial state. He will not hold back. He will kill your mother, your brother, your sister, and your uncle when he's in that Berserker state. But here's the catch. For him to go into that Berserker state, something massive has had to happen. You had to either make massive damage to his body, where his body cannot withstand the pain anymore. That's a lot of times when he went into the Berserker Rage, where he was so overwhelmed with physical punishment, he just loses it. Or you would have to hurt someone who's really dear to his heart. So those are two circumstances that would throw Logan into a Berserker Rage. Severe physical damage to his body, or he just can't cope anymore due to the pain, or you have to hurt someone who he severely loves, cherishes, and respects. Alright, let's see what's the next one. His mind is almost entirely psychic proof. Now with this one, I don't know if his mind's psychic proof because it's behind a adamantium covering. I don't know. Is the adamantium protecting his brain? Let me see what the article has to say. On top of Logan's physical invincibility, his mind is also well protected. Through the years, several telepaths, even Emma Frost, have failed to psychically attack or probe his mind. There are a couple of reasons for this. One is that Professor Xavier implanted psionic shields in his mind. So Professor Xavier, he was able to make slight inway into his mind. He put shields on Logan's mind for protection. However, the other reason is due to, you guessed it, his healing factor. Yes, his healing factor, and I said that adamantium can help too. His healing factor also adjusts to the stress. Yeah, 'cause if somebody's trying to enter his mind, it's a form of stress. It's a form of stress to have your mind taken over. So to cope with this stress, his healing factor kick in to prevent whatever's putting that stress on his mind, whatever's trying to attack his mind, to prevent it from taking over his brain. So that makes a lot of sense. Because we've seen in the past, when those psychic individuals try to take over people's mind, there's always a slight struggle. Especially if you're tough. If you're tough, you're struggling. And his healing factor kick in right there when there's a sense there are unknown forces putting stress on his mental capacities. Alright, so continuing. His healing factor suppresses memories to heal the trauma. Okay, so we're getting back into the first instance. His healing factor will try to do what it can to help him forget the pain stimuli that he got from his injuries. His healing factor will try to ease the turmoil that he faced when he was physically damaged.
But here's the only thing about
And last on our list,
how old he is. Is he 400 years old? Is he 300 years old? But Wolverine, from what we see, just like old man Logan existed,
he will age because he still is a child of the earth, and being a child of the earth, like all living creatures, his healing factor eventually will wear out, and he will die. Now we don't know when he will die. We don't know how long his healing factor will last. His healing factor may make him 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old, but eventually Wolverine will die. So thank you for taking the time to stop by to learn some vital facts about the superhero, the renowned Xman called Wolverine, or by his common name, Logan. If you know his last name, please give me his last name. I can easily look it up, but that caused some conversation between us. So give me his last name, please. If you like my content, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe to learn more about what I find interesting in comic book kingdom, please subscribe. Have a good day. Peace. So you ready to go, brother? I heard you say you don't want to go.